Everyone, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review, where Susie and I are in a place we've never been to before, and we're not entirely sure that we're on the right trail. Susie, where are we? Where is this place?
We are camping at a state park, and it's one that the last time we were here were so many years ago, and we were in a different section of the state park. We brought the kids and the dogs, and we came out here for a car camping trip. And they have a backcountry section, and they have camping spots by the river. They have primitive sites that you can only get to by either hiking or by taking a canoe or kayak. And I've been wanting to get to one of these sites. So since the temperatures have cooled down, we thought it would be a good opportunity to come out here. And we're here, but the trail is not marked, so I'm not sure that we are on the trail that we need to be on.
This may work out, this may not. I have no idea. Either way, it's a nice trail.
It is a nice trail.
Beautiful.
Nice trail.
Right next to the river.
Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Susan. Luke is here with me today, for those of you that don't know, and this is the Outdoor Gear Review. We are back out on the trail doing another adventure trip together. Those are my favorite ones. So this trip is going to be interesting, and I have a hunch that we're going to intersect the trail that we need to be on in just a few minutes. So we will see. So far, this trail has been beautiful. It's very well maintained as we go through the woods. It's just a really green and lush forest. So far, I'm super impressed with it.
Now, we've passed a handful of trail maps, but it's interesting. They only refer to this as the trail with no name. I love it. It's a mystery, Susie.
It is a mystery.
Yeah.
The first time that we came to this state park, it was fairly new, and we wanted to bring the kids camping. So we packed up the dogs, the kids, and we had this gigantic Coleman tent. One of those tents that had like 2 or 3 rooms. But it was a crazy trip. The dogs got super scared when it got dark. They were wondering, like, why aren't we going home? And I remember our husky howling.
She cried all night long. She just wanted to go back home. She was such a weenie. That was a fun trip, and that Coleman tent leaked like crazy.
It did. At the campground we were at, it had bathrooms and showers, and you know, the funny thing is, I asked Lucas today, I said, hey, we're going back to New River State Park, do you remember camping there? And he remembers it, and he was like, oh, that's so much fun. So we're talking about funny stories. I remember it being like such a chore.
It was.
I remember us like getting the wheelbarrow to push our belongings to the site, because you had to park and hike a little bit.
Right.
And I think they had wheelbarrows for you to use to roll your stuff to your site. But what a chore. But yeah, we did things like that when our kids were small, and obviously it worked, and they have good memories, and so that's what matters.
You know how it is, parents. You go on a vacation or a trip with your family, and then you get home and you want a vacation by yourself. Now, before going any further, let's talk weather conditions. Right now, roughly 62 degrees, beautiful. Absolutely perfect. Now, just as with the last trip, there's a hurricane coming in tomorrow. So we have one dry day to go out to film this trip, because it's gonna start raining tonight, tomorrow, something, I don't know. So that's why we're out for this quick trip here at New River State Park, exploring some trail.
That's all the details we can give you.
The trail seems to be very nice so far. There's no one out here. Susie, this might be a secret gem.
Secret gem.
Secret gem.
So you know what that means is every time we say, we might have to beep it out.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So we might not be able to tell you where we're at.
You know what's funny is that I don't mind sharing where we are with you guys. I really don't. I think it's awesome if someone wants to come out here and do the same type of trip that we are doing. But what is funny and what kind of drives me crazy is that we get so many emails from people upset that we shared. So there's always like that fine line. Do we share? Do we not share? But whatever we decide to do, we will get just as many emails asking, hey, where were you? And then we will get just as many saying like, stop sharing, don't do that. And they're super upset with us. So, you know, as always, you can't please everyone, and we certainly don't try.
Now, I will say this, Susie, you remember our Never Summer trip. So when you were finishing up that hike, there was this tree that was like almost 100% rotten. And it was standing straight up in the air with just a sliver of wood holding that tree. It was incredibly cool. So we made the video, some viewers went out there, and I got a video of them throwing a boulder into that tree and knocking it down.
Yeah, and it kind of made us sad.
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off.
My hope is that if we share where we are, we're sharing with like-minded people that share the same values and the same habits that we have when we come out into the woods. So we share with you, we hope you come out here and you're gonna leave it in better condition than what you found it in. And that's what we try to do on our trips.
That's true. I know this is going to sound goofy, but talking about Dallas, our old husky, when she passed away, I think she was reincarnated as a blue jay. There were times where I would drive up to Lone Wolf Mountain, where she's buried at, and there would be a blue jay sitting exactly where she was buried. And from that point in time, blue jays follow us around.
We definitely have animals that are connected to us. I would have to say that there's something about a hawk and my mom. And in fact, one time while visiting her grave, a hawk sat right above us. And every time we are out, and it doesn't matter if we're in Colorado, North Carolina, Virginia, we will see a hawk, and a close encounter every single time. So we've always thought maybe that's in some connection to her, and the blue jay is for Dallas. So share with us if you have anything in your life where someone's passed but you have an animal or some kind of connection like that. I would be curious to hear that.
Okay, folks, so we are right about here, and we are going to follow this trail, go all the way up, and we are camping up here.
We are now hiking into what they consider the backcountry. And one great thing about this backcountry is that they have done a very good job in making sure that if you come out here to camp, you can find some solitude and peace. Each campsite is at least half a mile apart, and a half a mile is a pretty good distance. So even if all the campsites were reserved and you were able to get one, you can guarantee that you do have some privacy, peace, and solitude.
For this trip, I have 3 liters of water in the pack. Susie has 2. We had read online that you should not drink the water from the river under any circumstances, even with a filter. We've passed a couple of streams, but they look to be unreliable. Only one was actually flowing and the others were dried up. So if you decide to come out here, make sure to bring your own water. As we're hiking along here, to our left is the New River, and this is the only major river in the United States that flows north instead of south, which is pretty cool. I have spent my life kayaking and canoeing in this body of water. Not in this area though, but maybe this winter we'll come out with the kayaks and we'll do some paddling. What do you think, Susie?
I think it would be fun to take advantage of the paddle-in sites.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Now up here in just a bit, we'll come across the first campsites. We'll stop at those, have lunch before pressing on. This is a really nice trail. It's a well-defined single track trail out in the country amongst the capital of Christmas trees. I want to say that Trump had a Christmas tree from this area taken.
I think it's happened several years. Different presidents have gotten trees from this place.
Yeah.
From this area, so.
Isn't that cool?
They clearly have the best.
That's right. I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with this area. This is just beautiful.
I think it's easy to overlook the state parks and forget that a lot of them do offer backcountry camping. So for people that are wanting to get into camping and they think that they have to, you know, travel to a different state or a different part of the country to have that epic adventure, it's not always true. You can find some hidden gems in your own areas. Now I will say most state parks will require a fee for camping.
It's gonna take a little bit more work with a state park. Like you're gonna have to make phone calls. Most have to have reservations. You might have to check in or check out. We made the reservation online. We parked, had to call the office to check in. Once we hit this trail, we had to get a permit.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we have to check out. I mean, so it's not super smooth. I mean, you're gonna have to interact with people in most cases when it comes to like state parks. What I respect about this is what you mentioned earlier, the campsites half a mile apart. That is unreal.
Yeah.
They could have 3 or 4 campsites right here, 3 or 4 right over there, and so on, but they didn't. And that is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a very quiet experience today. There's nobody out here.
No one.
All right, well, I've got to get our lunch to cooking. And what I mean by that is pour some water in a bag, so. So second day of fall.
Mm-hmm.
We're officially into fall.
Right. I was just thinking about that. Once all of the leaves fall, this is going to be an awesome spot. You can see the new river coming around and bend and carrying on.
Good view when the leaves are gone.
Talking about the new river, I was just reading that it is believed it is the second oldest river in the world next to the Nile. And it goes through western North Carolina, into Virginia, up into West Virginia, where it becomes part of some other river.
That is wild.
That is wild. That's interesting. I believe there are some smaller rivers elsewhere in the country that go north, but this is one of the biggest, I believe. We are back on the trail again. I would say another 2 miles maybe, something like that, until the campsite. Susie has done an awesome job with finding this place. I've been so busy lately that I haven't had time to even check this place out. I know virtually nothing about it. I know nothing about this trail. It's all been a mystery. Good job, Susie.
I'm so glad it's working out. And I will have to say that I really tried hard to research it, and there's not a lot of information about this trail or coming out into the backcountry. So I think that is because nobody does it. So here you guys go. We're doing it. We'll tell you what it's like, and I'm just glad it's worked out. I was really worried about that. You know, when you plan a trip, all the pressure's on you that it's all gonna go well. And so if it's a bad trip, then it's like, it's my fault, so.
So here is campsite number 62. I'll show you that, just in case you want to see it. If you decide to come out this way, it's not a bad campsite. It's plain, simple, nothing wrong with it. I personally like site number 61 the best. What about you?
I like 61 the best, but this one is still good.
Yeah.
And look at the distance between them. It's crazy.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it is easily half a mile between this one and that one. I tell you what, everyone, this trail has gone through so many different diverse forest types. I mean, it's a pine forest 1 second, and it's open, and then it's grassy. It's really, really cool. Time-wise, it's getting pretty close to 4 o'clock. We shouldn't be too far away from our campsite. And I promise you all this. Susie, I make you this promise. I don't care what time we get to the campsite. We're having coffee. Yes. We'll stay up all night long waiting for the hurricane.
Why wouldn't we have coffee? That's my question.
Why wouldn't we? Is the earth shaking or is it just me? Take a look at this forest, everyone. Every one of these trees is planted single file. It's amazing.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, this is really unique. Every single one of these trees was planted by hand.
The barn is part of the trail.
That is cool.
I saw the barn on the map as a marker for when we were getting close.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was actually part of the trail.
This is awesome. Wow, folks, this is so cool. Susie, you take us to the coolest places.
I do, it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
So you can hike in if you want to, or you could kayak or canoe in. And once you get here, they have a wheelbarrow for you to use to haul your stuff from your boat to your campsite. That's so nice. So Susie and I, we have gone through all of the campsites, and we decided to stay at the one that we registered for. And the reason is simple. It's next to the water, it's quiet, nice place to sit, good fire pit, but there's something else. Check this out. There's a blue jay feather on this stump right in our camp.
That's a sign.
It's a sign.
We have to stay here.
Yep, this is home for the night.
While Luke is out gathering the firewood, I am back at camp making coffee. And he's having to walk a little bit of a distance away from camp because everything close by has already been used, of course. It doesn't look like anybody has stayed at this campsite in a while, just based on the fire pit. Now it is coffee time, and I'm trying to get all of that ready. It is pretty late in the evening, but Luke and I like to have afternoon and evening coffee. Wait a minute. Look who just rolled into camp, literally.
Now, you should probably turn the camera off and I'll cut this out. I may have scoured the other campsites. I may have become a pirate and stole all their goodies. I've also taken something that we could use as a seat or a bench or a table. Site 1 had it going on. Tons and tons of firewood, tons of these posts or stumps. So, you know what they say about wheelbarrows? Never run with them.
And there he goes. Hurry back, coffee's almost done.
Cheers. Cheers, kitty.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Perfect.
I did try to cool yours down and not boil it.
It's still hot.
So weird that you do not like hot coffee, but whatever.
Look at this cup. Look at the steam just billowing out. I mean, you can't even see her. I can. Good job, Susie, on finding an amazing place.
Yay.
This is amazing.
It really is.
I've never even heard of this. I didn't even know this was available. I'm impressed. This is how you do it.
It is. You could easily come in here and there could be a campsite right here and one right here. I mean, there could be dozens down the side of this bank.
Yeah. Doing it this way preserves it. Doing it that way
destroys it.
Because this place would be packed. There'd be garbage everywhere. Where you go in camera. I just saw that thing like lurch backwards.
Oh God. The ground is soft.
As far as the weather goes, I would say it's around 55 degrees. Rain is coming in soon. It's getting dark. I think it will start raining tonight.
I think you're right.
Based on the last time that we had cell phone service, the moisture was on its way. The forecast was for it to like start raining tomorrow afternoon. We'll see. My guess is that it'll start raining tonight.
I think you're right. Based on what we saw with the radar, there's no way it's going to just like disappear or miss us. It was such a large front coming, and that's because we're in hurricane season. And so what happens in the mountains for us, even in North Carolina, all those systems end up sweeping up and just pouring rain on us.
Think of it like this. As those systems come up, they plow into the mountains, and it's like taking a towel and wringing it out. As of right now, it's been about every other week we get a storm. Like we had Sally last week and Beta this week, and there was something else I can't remember. But that's why this area was closed, because of Sally coming in, flooded it, everything was underwater.
Yeah.
Now folks, with this fire pit, this is an interesting setup. Obviously people have used this for a long period of time, and it looks like maybe a ranger came through and cleaned it out, but they dug it out like it's 2 feet deep. It's the deepest hole in a fire pit I've ever seen. It's so deep, in fact, that you would have to have a gigantic fire for the flames to be touching the top of the fire ring. So I found these 2 stumps, I threw them in this hole, and as you can see, this is just barely going above the top of these rocks here. These aren't small stumps that I've thrown in this hole either. They're huge. I've never seen anybody do anything quite like this before. As far as the firewood goes, I found a little bit, but not a whole lot. So we will wait until it's almost dark to fire this up. Everything here is soaking wet, and I don't know if that's because of the recent rains or the fact that this area has been underwater recently, and that's why they had this closed off. But yeah, everything on the ground is soaking wet, sopping wet. So I was able to find this small pile, and we will have to make do. What's for dinner, Susie?
We are having sweet pork and rice. This is from Peak Refuel, and this has become one of our favorite meals. One of the reasons that I love this meal so much is you can clearly see huge chunks of pork in it. So come check this out.
Oh, that looks awesome.
We had this one not too long ago when we were camping, hammock camping, I believe. So we ordered some more, but it is really good.
Oh, I tell you what, that fire feels good.
It does feel good.
Yep. I like this spot. I think
I
it was
do.
meant to be. The blue jay feather just laying there is so cool.
Yeah, meant to be.
Meant to be.
And we couldn't catch it on camera, but a big hawk came
Huge.
swooping out of the trees and flew down the river and went to another tree. So that was pretty cool too. And it was whistling as it was moving, so.
This one's good.
Okay.
But that was poison ivy. It's funny, folks. I've spent my entire life playing in the woods, and I've never had issues with poison ivy or oak. Luckily.
Yes, luckily that's good. It doesn't bother me either, but my brother is highly allergic to the oils.
My dad is too.
So it was kind of a joke when we were growing up. If my brother looked at it, he would get it. And honestly, it seemed to be true. I mean, he wasn't like playing in the stuff or rolling around with it.
Yeah.
It was, if he was anywhere near it the next day, he would have severe, severe cases.
This is really peaceful.
It is peaceful.
Yeah. Imagine, folks, it's wintertime, it's cold, snow is falling, the fire's going. That is going to be so awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna be back.
Yeah.
I think it's time to eat.
Let's eat.
So, let's eat.
Ladies first.
What if the lady wants to feed the man?
Feed me, babe. Oh my god, that stuff is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sweet. It's unusual. Like, it's sweet pork in rice.
I think I like that aspect because it's not like fajitas or tacos or it's like it gives it a totally different flavor.
Well, Susie Q, it's time for bed.
Yes, it is.
Now our focus shifts to rain. When is it coming in? We hiked down, got a little bit of service, checked the radar, and the mass that is coming this way. It's going to be raining later on tonight. The question really becomes, like, how heavy is it going to be? If we wake up and it's raining, I say we head to that barn.
Yeah, we have a plan. So we're going to use the barn as shelter so we can pack up here, hike to the barn, and then we can settle there for breakfast and coffee. So it's not like we have to like make a mad rush out of here.
Anyways, folks, we are going to bed, but not to sleep. We have a movie to watch. We are watching some old movie with Michael Keaton, Pacific Heights. That's the plan.
And I'm going to watch it, fall asleep, and wake up when it rains or whatever.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Good night for now.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good morning, Susie.
Good morning.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. So, as you can hear, it's raining, and it started around 2 o'clock last night, or this morning, I guess. It's not very heavy, but it's been steady. all in all, it's been a good night. We are about to get up and pack up and head to that barn. That's where we will have coffee and breakfast. That's going to be so cool.
When it started raining, it's just so soothing to sleep to.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was thinking like, oh, we get to go to the barn.
That's cool. So we have the tent all packed up. We're ready to rock and roll with this adventure. Heading down to the river one more time. The river that I want to call a lake every single time I come to it. We had a fisherman in a boat come by, and he asked if we had any luck catching fish in the woods. No, we haven't. He said that he didn't have any luck catching anything either in the water. So, how'd you sleep last night, Susie?
I slept pretty good. Took me a while to fall asleep. Maybe coffee in the evening at like 5:30 isn't a great idea.
Our next stop is the barn. We'll hop inside of there, fire up the stove, coffee, breakfast. Then Susie and I will work our way out of here. This is the coolest forest I've ever been in.
So diverse, so different.
Yeah. I mean, maybe other people have been in something like this before. I never have. Like, these trees, single file, is just about the coolest thing ever. I love the construction of this old barn. I mean, trees right out of the forest. This place is old. It reminds me a lot of the shed on Lone Wolf Mountain, built the exact same way.
Do you realize we're both dressed in like solid black? We're like ninjas.
You are definitely ninja mode. This is what I call backpacking professional. So. Let me go ahead and button this up. How is it?
We're good.
That is what I call busy oatmeal. It's right on the verge of being too busy for me. Susie, are you ready to finish this up?
I am ready.
Everybody, let's go. So, Susie just saw something in the forest. Looks to be maybe another shed or a barn or maybe even a house. So we are going to go check it out. Now that looks like a location mistake. The runoff goes directly into this building here. And it looks like there's actually two. Wow. This is cool, folks. So what we have here is just two old barns. This one even has hay in it still. I don't see any power lines, but at one point in time that was wired. Look at how old that fixture is. I love how the foundation has been supported by a handful of rocks. That's cool. There is some cool stuff in here.
Oh, look at this little bottle right here.
There's all sorts of old cans, a handle for something, all sorts of bolts and washers. I'm not sure what exactly that is down there. See an old coffee can, an old chainsaw chain. What a cool find, everyone. Look at how the walls are bowing. Well, that was fun. I love exploring old abandoned places. I assume that this is all part of the park property. We're not far from the barn or the trail. After hiking a while, I decided that I'd rather just be out in the rain. No rain gear. Do you want to be wet from the rain or wet with sweat? I chose rain. Susie's choosing sweat.
Sweat.
Are you hot?
I have a little bit of airflow going on here.
That means she's hot.
Since you guys have already seen this hike in, we are just going to focus on hiking out. The rain seems to be picking up a little bit. It was sort of funny when Luke took off his rain gear and he was like, wait a minute, is it raining again? And I'm like, yes, it is. So that's the problem with a day like today. I don't know if the rain is going to pick up and get heavy or just kind of stay steady.
As an update, we decided to go check out the group sites, and I don't know where we're at. We've been out here for a while, going up this mountain, down another one. We're too far in to turn around. We have to see this to the end. But I'm thinking this is going to be at the base of this mountain, Kitty.
Jeez, yeah.
We will check it out for you all. We've been hiking in the rain, having a good old time. And it is definitely raining right now, but luckily, under the canopy, we're not getting too wet. All right, so we have made it to the group site. Minimum 6 people, max 12. Let's go check this out. So what we have here is a mowed site in the woods. Very strange, there's no fire pit or anything. Covered in spider webs though. There's nothing here.
Nobody uses it.
No, I mean it's just a mowed spot.
Yeah.
No fire pit, no nothing. By the way, Susie, I see that you stripped. Did you get hot?
So hot, I couldn't handle it.
Sometimes, within reason of course. It's better just to get wet and stay cool. Oh, by the way, everyone, let me tell you, that movie we watched last night, it was so awful. Susie, that was the worst movie I've ever seen.
Oh, that movie was so not good.
Like, that's not even a good, bad movie. It just sucked. It didn't make any sense.
Nope.
So, do not watch Pacific Heights. Anyways, folks, this adventure is coming to an end. We will be back to the car in maybe 30 minutes. It's all basically downhill from here. We have seen no one, with the exception of a couple who were camping at the site where we had lunch at. I hope they're prepared to be in the rain for a while because it's supposed to rain here for days. Without a doubt, Susie has done an amazing job of finding this place. This is really, really neat. It's really cool.
It is, and it's kind of fun hiking back in the rain today. You know, when you go out camping, there's nothing wrong with going when it is raining. You know, we passed that couple and I said, do you think they knew it was gonna rain for days? And maybe they did, I'm sure that they did. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you have the right type of gear so that you can keep yourself dry.
I want to say a thank you to everyone for watching this episode. Thank you all very much for the support on Patreon and the supporters on YouTube. On to the next adventure, Susie.
Yep, already planning it.
Strength and honor, guys, gals. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know what it is you do to me. Somehow it's like you see straight through me. I wanna hold you in my arms tonight. Yeah, and show